everybody, my name is Anis Orleis. I'm the open source developer advocate here at Aqua Security. Now in this quick tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can use the Trivy Operator in combination with Kubernetes extensions and plugins such as Lens and K9s. What is Lens and K9s? Well, both serve the purpose to view your Kubernetes resources, your running workloads from within the cluster in a more visual, more dynamic manner. Using kubectl commands is quite time consuming and can be really tedious if you have lots of different resources that you want to view or navigate between, for example, for troubleshooting purposes. Now, Lens provides a dashboard on your desktop that you can access directly, access your clusters, one or multiple clusters, and then it provides you with a more visual representation of the resources within your cluster. In comparison, K9s is a terminal CLI integration that you can install and then access your cluster directly through the terminal. It also gives you more of a table visual manner of the resource within your cluster. Let's have a look at both. So I'm here in my terminal. I'm connected to a 3-node GKE cluster. Kubectl get nodes. As you can see, they're just 3 basic nodes. Now, within that cluster, kubectl get deployment in namespace Trivy system. And I can view that I have the Trivy Operator installed. Now you can use the Trivy CLI if you want to do a more imperative way of querying resources, of scanning resources. However, in this case, we're going to use the Trivy Operator that lives inside of our Kubernetes cluster. Now the thing is, once the Trivy Operator is installed, I can go ahead and I can scan for kubectl get vulnerability reports in namespace app. And I can view all of the vulnerability reports that I have, for example, in the application namespace. In this case, I have one deployment running in the application namespace, and it has a tag 7.0.0. And Trivy scanned it for vulnerabilities, and this is the vulnerability report. Now, if I then want to see the details of the vulnerability reports, I have to say kubectl describe vulnerability reports, and I have to paste the name of the vulnerability report and say in namespace app. So, and here you will find then the CRD of the vulnerability report. Now, with all the details. Now, this is obviously a really time-consuming and not really efficient way to view your resources, right? So what we can do instead in this case is we can view the resources with, for example, K9s. So first off, you can install the Trivy Operator. If you go to Aqua Security, you head over to Trivy, then you head over to the documentation. You can also go to the README, and in the docs section, you will find the installation of the operator. Over here, Helm installation or kubectl installation. Now, so what is K9s? Well, K9s is a CLI tool, Kubernetes CLI, to manage your cluster and style. And that's really how to describe it. It's my absolute favorite tool personally. Now, I'm really biased. I think it's amazing for troubleshooting. I'm going to show you some features. How do we install K9s? You can install it with Homebrew. Here's some demos on how you can use it. There's so much that you can do through it. And as you can see, they're all really nice visuals of using K9s. Now, how do I get started with K9s? Well, once I have it installed, I can just say K9s. And if I'm connected to a Kubernetes cluster with kubectl, it will just open directly that cluster. Now, as you can see, it's opening all of my pods. It's telling me how many pods I have, 34 pods. Some pods are not really happy with me, and that's because the cluster is a little bit too small for everything that I'm running on top. Now, here you can see in the Trivy system namespace, the Trivy Operator, right? So I can already see all of the different pods that are running across my entire cluster. Then I can head over, and I just press Shift, and then basically 2 dots, colons. I think that's how you call it. Anyway, so I can say namespace. It's already auto-completing it. And I can view my different namespaces. Now I can head over to the Trivy system namespace. It will show me by default the pods, but I can also query deployments. And I can see the deployments. I can also see the service. And it's going to show me the service for Trivy. And it is really straightforward. Now the beauty of this is that I don't have to type long resource names. So I can, for example, go into the application namespace And here I have one part for my React application running, and then I can look for vulnerability reports. Now let's assume I'm in just all of my namespace, right? In all of them. And I'm looking, maybe I'm going into, which namespace should I go into? Maybe the Trivy system namespace again. And here I'm gonna look for vulnerability reports. As you can see, there is none because I'm in the Trivy system namespace. However, I can press 0 and I can see all of the vulnerability reports for all of my different namespaces, right? And over here, I can see the critical, the high, medium, low vulnerabilities when that resource was deployed. And ultimately, if I want to go into one of them, for example, I want to see the details of the report, the vulnerability report for my application. I can just hit D for describe, and I can see the exact CRD with all of the vulnerabilities listed within, if that's what I want to do. So this is ultimately what K9s does for you. It also allows you to access logs, for example, and this is like going beyond our use case. If I go to my deployments and then I want to check the logs of Argo CD, let's say, of the Argo CD server, I can hit L, and now it's scanning for logs and it's going to display any logs that I can find, and I can query the logs by time. So for example, I can say 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minutes, and I can see all of the different logs that were recorded for the time span, right? So K9s is ultimately a really straightforward, easy to use troubleshooting tool. Now, what does Lens do for us? Well, Lens provides a more visual interaction. So with Lens, I can basically have a dashboard. So just displayed here in the demo, and I can access my different resources. So this is my dashboard. I can access the different clusters I have, then my different nodes. I can see the different workloads, and I can, similarly to using K9s, I can query them. So this is more like click focused than K9s in the terminal, right? So I can see my config maps, my services, all of the different resources, right? However, the nice thing about Lens is that you can also add integrations. So you can hit Command Shift E and you're in the integration section. Now here you can install the Trivy Operator Lens integration. You'll also publish one for K9s, but ultimately, if you go back to our GitHub, you can look for Trivy Lens and then Trivy Operator Lens extension. And here you will find the Trivy Operator Lens extension. Download this file, and then this will allow you, when you go back to Lens, it will allow you to take the file, just drop it in here, and then just like that, you will have the Trivy Operator Lens extension installed within your Lens. So once we have the Lens extension for Trivy Operator installed, we can then head down in the dashboard to the Trivy Operator section, and we can view again our vulnerability reports. And I can click the vulnerability reports and then see all of the details of the different CVEs that have been found in my deployment. So for example, of the critical CVE, I can click it and see the details in Aqua. Like always, all of the resources shared within this video are linked below in the description section. Do check them out. Also make sure to join our Slack channel. Let us know if you have any questions, feedback, comments, suggestions for future tutorials. What would you like to see next? Either in the comment sections or on Slack. Also, all of those tools are open source. I think so. At least Trivy and K9s are. So we would love to hear your feedback, your input. If you want to help us maintain those tools, maybe contribute. If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to our channel for upcoming videos. I would love to see you in one of our next videos. Have an amazing day. Bye bye.